What's up, everybody? This is Screenwriter Randall Rydell bringing you another episode of The Process, where I break down and give tips, tools, insights, and just show my love for film, screenwriting, and everything in between. As you already know, this is the month of Halloween, so we're going to do a lot of horror movie related stuff like I've been doing the past couple videos. So today, we're going to break down my top 10 favorite ghost movies. So let's get into it. Okay, number one is personal favorite of mine, good old Poltergeist. I've talked about this movie a few times already. Directed by Tobe Hooper, who did Texas Chainsaw Massacre, written by Spielberg, and Michael Grace and Mark Victor. This is just one of those ones when I was a little kid that really just struck a nerve with me and just made me a fan of horror. That kind of Spielbergism they said happened in the 80s. Just that Spielberg glow of movies, because you always know the movies that, even though he didn't direct it, the ones that he produced had that touch of him on it, and this was one of them. One of the greatest things I've ever heard about this movie was because this and E.T. came out the same year. They said that this movie represented suburban nightmares, while E.T. represented suburban dreams. So I think that's a good way to look at it. But yeah, Poltergeist. Next, another personal favorite that I've already talked about as well, but I'm gonna bring it up again. Good old The Fog, written by John Carpenter and Deborah Hill. This is one of those ghost stories. It's such a pure, it just feels like a ghost story. It feels like a story that you would read as a kid growing up, or at like campfire tales or something when you're at camp or just out with your friends. And the way it's shot, the way it looks, how they capture that small town in Northern California where I grew up. Not where they filmed this, but in Northern California. It just has just great feel to it, and it'll always be one of my favorite films. So, The Fog. The third film I don't have. I had it on VHS and I lost it a long time ago. But it's The Changeling with George C. Scott. That movie is it's unnerving. Certain scenes, like the scene when the ball drops down the stairs, he kind of turns and looks at it, and it's this whole investigation on the house. It's just a true, to me, like crime / ghost story, horror, all mixed into one. Peter Medic is the one that directed the movie, and it was written by William Gray and Russell Hunter and Deborah Maddox, I believe. All these people, they've written a couple movies in the 60s and 70s and a bunch of cartoons, but never did anything beyond this movie, sadly. So, but they just captured and they did a really good ghost story, and George C. Scott gives, as always, a great performance. So, number 3, The Changeling. All right, number 4, I spoke about this movie already too, but it's coming up again, The Shining. Written and directed by Stanley Kubrick, who also had help from Diane Johnson, who's an author for the script. This really is the first epic horror film. It's, I know we said it before that how Stephen King feels about this adaptation, but I absolutely love this adaptation. So definitely watch this movie if you haven't already watched it, and please watch this movie and then watch the director's cut of Dr. Sleep. It's just so good together. Both great ghost stories. Definitely watch this, The Shining. Number 5, I've spoke about this one before, but not in detail, but this is one of my favorite films, favorite ghost stories, favorite Kevin Bacon movies, one of my favorite David Koepp movies, Stir of That Ghost. There's a mystery behind this movie, the whole him getting hypnotized, him having the visions, him trying to uncover the mystery of what's going on, and when you get to the end, what it really leads to, it's just a really well story, and person just wanted to cross over. Kevin Bacon gives one of the top 5 performances from him to me personally in this movie. It's really scary, it's very haunting, just a really good movie. So, Stir of Echoes. Next, personal favorite of mine, Ghostbusters. Obviously, this was directed by Ivan Reitman and written by Dan Aykroyd and Harold Ramis, who play Ray and Egon in the film. This is one of my favorite. I've been watching this movie since I was 3 years old. It's one of my favorites. I never get tired of it. I love watching this movie year round, but it's even more fun this time of year. Besides the girl Ghostbusters, I love all the movies in the series. Frozen Kingdom or Frozen Empire could have been better, but I still enjoy it. But this first one, it's so Lovecraftian, it's so creepy. The effects for 84, 40 years later, which is crazy to say, just still hold up. So definitely Ghostbusters. Next on the list is another personal favorite of mine, good old The Frighteners. This was like one of Michael J. Fox's last movies before his Parkinson's really took over. Peter Jackson and Fran Walsh directed this, or wrote it, and Peter Jackson directed it. I love the premise of him being able to see ghosts after the car accident he got in and uses ghosts to hustle people out of money, but then he has to actually, become a protector for the town after people start getting killed. And he's got to use his gifts and, the ghosts he's with to like solve the crime. And it's a really good movie. It really holds up. So yeah, The Frighteners. Next on the list, I'm only going for number 2, but I'm sorry, it's in a double disc. So, Poltergeist 2. I love the entire trilogy of the Poltergeist movies, all 3 of them. 1 is a classic. It's one of my favorite movies, but 2 might actually be my favorite because I think I've seen 2 more than I've seen all 3 of the other movies. It's just really creepy. I feel like the haunting in the second movie is a little bit more personal because it's almost like we didn't get you guys last time. We're going to really get you guys this time. And I really enjoyed that. Kane, creepy as hell, the Reverend. He's almost scarier than the ghost in the movies, just how he talks and the fact that Julian Beck, the actor playing Kane, was actually dying during filming, and it shows. It's just a really good reunion of the cast, besides Dana, who's played by Dominique Dune, rest in peace. But Poltergeist 2, if you haven't seen it, please watch it. Number 9 is The Conjuring. The Conjuring was the last ghost movie that really freaked me out. I've seen the movie dozens of times, but it still scares me in a way that a lot of movies don't scare me, because I don't scare very easily. I can get unsettled and unnerved or disturbed, but like scare me, The Conjuring 1 scared me. There's some parts I still kind of go like this when I know it's about to come, even though I've already seen it. That's how good of a movie it is. That was directed by James Wan and written by Chad Hayes and Carrie Hayes. This the whole Conjuring universe. The Conjuring 1 will always be my favorite movie in the entire universe they created. So Conjuring 1, number 9, and number 10, the final movie of the list. I don't own it either, just like the last movie I just said, but Conjuring 2. Directed again by James Wan, written by Carrie Hayes, Chad Hayes, and then James Wan actually wrote the script for this one too. Different scenario, different setting, same scares. I really liked Conjuring 2 a lot. Being in London kind of changed the trajectory of the story and just made it a little bit more scary and effective because you're in a place you really don't know. So that really helped. So I really enjoyed that in the universe that James Wan's creating with all these movies. So I hope people continue watching them because they're really, 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 really fun to watch. So, and that concludes our episode today. Like I said, we're gonna have more coming. We're gonna keep going and keep talking about it. And I really appreciate all you guys, tuning in and checking out, keep spreading the word. And we'll see you next time.